Hi there, welcome to Rumor Spill. Gino Jennings is the subject of a zealous pursuit by T.D. Jakes and the FBI, who find themselves in the middle of a maelstrom of controversy around the matter. This pursuit is not merely a question of disagreement, rather, it is the result of Jennings' direct criticism of P. Diddy, in conjunction with his unwavering commitment to teaching what he considers to be the truth about homosexuality when it comes to teaching about it. During a comprehensive conversation with ministers from the Black Caucus, Jennings makes some pretty serious claims against T.D. Jakes, arguing that Jakes crossed the limit and that this is considered to be a violation of the law. Legislators and members of the clergy are being encouraged to make contact with the Federal Communications Commission in an effort to put an end to Jennings's activities. To what end? The goal is to remove Jennings from the airwaves and to take legal action against anyone who dares to comment about him on social media platforms. This turn of events in the story adds another element of intricacy to a scenario that was already quite dramatic. It suggests that a confrontation between these theological giants is on the horizon. For his part, Jennings does not appear to be showing any signs of retreating. He maintains his steadfastness, which is fueled by his dedication to what he considers to be the truth, and he maintains that he considers FBI pursuits to be old news. Jennings has been quite open about his opposition to homosexuality, and he has insisted that he is not willing to sell it, regardless of the price. Despite everything, he has not wavered in his commitment to spreading the gospel. In his account, he describes a lengthy conversation he had with a key participant in the Black Caucus, during which he praised the individual's capabilities and civility. In spite of this, Jennings brings out the underlying conflict that exists in the midst of conversations about music and ministry. There is a purposeful effort to prevent him from speaking out, even if it means pursuing legal action against his followers. During the course of Jennings' discussion of the consequences of his outspokenness, the story takes a new direction. By vehemently denying the idea that he was bought off, he emphasizes that his loyalty to his faith is more important than anything else. Jennings acknowledges that his congregation, the First Congregation of the Lord Jesus Christ, has been the target of targeted attacks on social media, which is where the dispute goes from there.
The idea that any political or religious party could bribe someone to spy on a church is something that he criticizes, and he brands those who were engaged in these attacks as nothing less than traitors to their faith. Jennings' position is crystal clear. He considers these attempts at intimidation to be a threat to the goal that he is working on. He argues that he is nothing more than a messenger for the truth, despite the fact that he has been accused of being judgmental.
This hypothetical situation paints a picture of a society in which contrasting viewpoints are becoming increasingly unwanted, which has the potential to stifle the rich flow of ideas that is vital for development and enlightenment. Attempts to prevent Jennings from broadcasting raise substantial problems regarding the right to freedom of expression and the ability to express ideas that are contrary to the majority.
These kinds of activities have the potential to further polarize the Christian community, isolating individuals who hold the same beliefs as Jennings. The fact that these actions can accidentally deepen the disagreement rather than put an end to the dispute highlights how important it is to cultivate an atmosphere in which different points of view are not merely tolerated but actively encouraged. It is possible that Jennings and T.D. Jakes might find more benefit in participating in open discourse with one another rather than by attempting to silence one another. They may set the way for a more constructive and courteous interaction if they focused on the values that they both held in common while also discussing the contrasts between them. This technique has the potential to serve as a model for others, demonstrating the power of communication over confrontation. When confronted with criticism, T.D. Jakes might think about taking some time to reflect on his own teaching method. Being receptive to new experiences and willing to adjust to new circumstances has the potential to not only reduce tensions, but also foster personal and spiritual development. If both leaders were to focus on their separate ministries, they would be able to avoid public disputes that were not essential, which would result in a more harmonious religious landscape. There is a potential risk to the fundamental principles of free expression that are posed by the legal actions that are being planned against critics of T.D. Jakes. These strategies run the risk of establishing a culture in which dissent is not only discouraged but also punished, which may prevent individuals from engaging in criticism that is both open and constructive on their part. This strategy has the potential to further polarize the Christian community, which would ultimately undermine attempts to promote peace and mutual understanding. In conclusion, the drama that is currently unfolding between Gino Jennings, T.D. Jakes, and the larger religious community highlights the difficulties that arise when attempting to navigate through competing ideas within the context of a common faith. The disputes that are currently taking place bring to light the fundamental requirement for open communication, mutual respect, and a dedication to comprehending different points of view. When religious leaders embrace these ideals, they have the ability to set an example for others to follow, fostering a culture of tolerance and inclusivity that is not limited by doctrinal differences.
In the midst of heated arguments and intense public scrutiny, the efforts taken to stifle Jennings' voice not only violate his right to freedom of speech, but also pose a threat to the very nature of open dialogue, which is what nourishes a society that is rich in diversity. There is a worrying attempt to muzzle resistance, which is highlighted by the push to remove him from media outlets. This highlights the crucial necessity of a space where different ideas can flourish. It is not simply about personal grievances that this conflict between religious icons is about. Rather, it is a reflection of the larger struggle over who gets to speak and what truths are allowed to be stated. In the face of these difficulties, Jennings continues to be unfazed, exemplifying the spirit of perseverance. The fact that he is not buckled under the pressure of monetary rewards or fears of legal retribution is a clear indication of his unwavering dedication to his beliefs.
By maintaining his unwavering commitment to his convictions, Jennings challenges the idea that silence can be purchased or that truth is up to negotiation. Because of his courageous attitude, we are prompted to contemplate the significance of integrity in a world that is frequently influenced by compromise and convenience. By shedding light on the wider consequences for the religious community and the principle of free expression, the clash also sheds light on the wider implications. In the event that voices such as Jennings are silenced, we run the risk of establishing an echo chamber in which only particular points of view are heard, limiting the depth of our collective conversation. Not only does this impede the development of one's spirituality, but it also undermines the foundation of mutual respect and understanding that contributes to the cohesiveness of communities. Furthermore, it is extremely unsettling to even consider the possibility that legal action could be taken in order to suppress criticism. Not only do such actions worsen existing tensions, but they also establish a precedent that is potentially harmful for the manner in which disagreements are settled within the religious community. Rather than turning to legal action and censorship, it could be more beneficial to cultivate an atmosphere that encourages open communication and reconciliation as a means of moving forward. In the process of navigating these tumultuous seas, both Jennings and Jakes have the potential to display leadership that goes beyond their individual conflicts.
It is possible for them to investigate the complexities of their disagreements and possibly find areas of agreement if they engage in conversations that are direct and polite. This method of engagement has the potential to serve as a guiding light for their adherents, demonstrating that unity does not necessitate uniformity and that different points of view can coexist within the context of a common faith.
It is therefore not the suppression of criticism that will lead to the resolution of this conflict. Rather, it is the acceptance of the transformational power of conversation. In order for the religious community to make progress toward a future that is more accepting and understanding, it is necessary to recognize and solve the fundamental problems that are the source of these disagreements.
Leaders are able to really embody the principles that they claim to uphold when they view the world from the perspective of compassion and open-mindedness. In the end, the story of Jennings and Jakes is more than just a personal dispute. It is a defining moment that forces us to contemplate the principles of freedom and respect, as well as the function of faith in the context of public conversation.
Throughout the course of this story, it serves as a timely reminder of the significance of preserving the values of free expression and the unending pursuit of truth in a world that is constantly evolving. Subscribe Rumor Spill for more videos.